Welcome to Klondike Solitaire, and thanks for joining us. We've all had where we're at the end of a game, and we've got these cards that are holding us up, and we just can't solve the puzzle. Here we have these two low cards. You'll notice these two, the deuce of clubs and the deuce of diamonds, and they're blocking any moves we have up to these foundation piles right here. We'd like to go up. We can't do that. And we've got all these cards, all these column cards that we haven't taken care of yet. In fact, there are a total of 11 column cards here. We'd like to be able to move some stuff up top to the foundation piles, but we can't do that. The question you always have to ask is, do the cards originally come from the column? If all these cards originally came from the column, the game is pretty much over most of the time. Or do they originate from the draw pile? If one or two of these cards originates from the draw pile, we may be able to work something out here. And to be able to answer that question, we are going to use the undo button to find out. So we get all the way back to where these cards came from, and we notice that this two of diamonds originated from a column. Okay, so that's not good. However, this two of clubs right here did originate from the draw pile, so that's something we may be able to work with. As we keep playing around with the cards and trying to manipulate the draw pile, get the maximum number of cards we can out of the draw pile. In other words, by doing that, we'll maybe play one or two cards at a time and try to play cards from the back and then save the cards from the front of the draw pile as insurance. We discover that we're not able to make a lot of progress. And the question begs, is there another solution? We're kind of stumped here. We've tried this method, and this is a good method for solving a lot of games, but it's not working. The question is there anything else we can do, or should we just give up? And a lot of times we give up here. But this time there is another possible solution. Like I said earlier, if you remember correctly, there are quite a bit of cards under the columns right here. There's 11 cards under the columns, as we said earlier. So what else could we do? Well, if you look at this red jack right here, there may be something we could do. So again, the question is, what exactly can we do? And if you think on another level, you'll remember there is a column on the very left side that has a jack of diamonds in it, right there. What if we could take that jack of hearts and put it in the place of the jack of diamonds? If we could do that, we could definitely open up one of the column cards under the jack of hearts. But the question, is what exactly is under there? We don't know what's underneath this jack of hearts. There may be the right card to get us out of there, or there may be a card to keep us going that gets us another card and gets us another card and helps us solve this, because we're pretty much at an impasse right now. So again, what we're going to do is we're going to use the undo button and use that until we get back to the spot where this jack of diamonds came from, and then we'll see what we can do. So we finally make it all the way back, and we're almost pretty much starting from scratch, but we got this jack, and it came from a column. So the question is, can we uncover the other jack and make some moves? But in order to do that, we're going to have to basically go through the whole pile again. Yeah, so we're basically going to replay the earlier version of the game, which you did not see because we started where it was at an impasse to try to save some time here. But long story short, we are going to keep digging and digging until we get this Jack of Hearts out, if we can. We should be able to here. And yeah, we're just going to keep going back and forth with the draw pile. Now, the draw pile is tricky to manipulate. I like to try to save early cards for insurance if I can. Can't always do that, and then try to play cards in the back. That's why we're not playing the ace of spades there, as you can see at the very front of the draw pile. And here's the spot where we are actually going to play the ace of spades. Now we move the deuce of spades up. And we're going to try to, keep whittling down this draw pile if we can. And just look for ways to cover it down. Don't want to necessarily move the deuce of clubs. Might have to in this spot. It looks like that may be... Oh, no, we got a 7 of hearts there we can move. Okay, moving that down. Now we can move the 6. That was very important because that opens up this column right here where we can put a king in it. Our entire focus right now is going to be to get this black jack right here down below. And that will involve moving, of course, the king and, of course, the queen as well. And the reason we want to do that, of course, is so we can move this 10 of hearts underneath that jack and open up this column right here. And hopefully once we get this column open, we can do some stuff because we can move that jack, that red jack, underneath this queen right here. So that's our goal right now. All right, we're almost there. We just got to move this 2 of hearts and 5 of spades, and we're there. Now the question is, what is underneath that red jack? Let's keep our fingers crossed here that it's something that we can actually move. There's 11 cards, so we don't know yet. We're going to find out. I mean, there's some speculation as to what it might be, but we're going to find out. That's a card we can work with. That's a 7 of clubs. Okay, we're going to move the 6 of hearts. Find out what's under that. Oh, that's a really good card. That means we can move the 3 of diamonds as well. And that's very good because now we can move the ace of diamonds up top. This is the point of the game where we shift gears and turn our focus to just clearing out these columns if we can by moving cards up top to the foundation pile, such as the 4 of spades right there. We can move the 3 of clubs. That opens up the ace of clubs. Really good for us. Now, what we also need to do, if you look at the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, is try to be smart with moving cards out of the draw pile. We don't just want to move the first one we see. We want to try to think in terms of how each reset is impacted so that we can move the maximum number of cards. Obviously, the king is going to be an easy card to move here. Now, again, right here, if you go back to the first part we're going to undo there, what we're trying to do is look and see what cards are behind. So if we move 1 card, it has an impact. If we move 2 cards, it has an impact. Okay, we're going to back up here. We could move all 3 cards. We could move that 4 of diamonds up top, but we're waiting on it. We're waiting on it. And the reason we're waiting on it is we want to move another card that's behind there on the next part of the draw pile. We'll click on it in just a minute here. We're going to eventually move that 4 of diamonds, but we want to be able to move the cards that are behind or toward the back of the draw pile. And the way you do that is through proper draw pile manipulation. Again, we're slowly moving up cards here. Moved up the 6 of spades. Okay, let's see what else we can do. Okay, now let's click on it here. You see the 3 of hearts right there? The 3 of hearts is going to show up on the reset. It does. That's very good for us. Going to go back there. So now we can move the 3 of hearts. And we would not have been able to move that 3 of hearts if we had waited and hadn't made a move. Okay, that's really good. We can move the 4 of diamonds. We pretty much cleared out the draw pile. Now we can move the 10 of diamonds. But you got to be careful with how you manipulate the draw pile. If you're not careful, you're going to lose a lot of games or not be able to solve certain games. You don't want to take the first move that comes to mind. You want to think in terms of how it impacts later on. And there we have the queen right there. And that, of course, means that we have solved this. And yeah, this is probably one of the toughest games I've played. I've played a few tough games, but this is definitely up there. And hopefully it makes a great example for you to learn how to play and different ways to improve your odds of beating this. And of course, that is going to wrap this up. I'm signing out. Thank you for watching and good luck.